Yes, now we're recording. Oh yeah,
Okay.
so welcome, Fabi. Let me do that again. Welcome, Fabi, fabulous Fabiola, to the Rich Life Summit. I'm really excited to have you on, and let's just get started by having you tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are, and what makes you so fabulous.
Well, first, I want to say thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. And thank you, ladies, for joining me today. I am a business coach and I help women entrepreneurs basically build the business of their dreams. And my focus is around helping them really refine their marketing and understanding the online world and really position themselves to profit. And I don't know what really makes me fabulous, but I do. My passion is in helping others succeed, and that's what I love to do. And so I started my business by really just quitting and going full in. Like I didn't even balls to the wall. I was like, I'm done. I am moving to this new space in my life, and I'm ready to take it on. And I wouldn't say anything short of a miracle, but when I launched my business immediately the first day, less than 24 hours, I made my first 3 high-end sales, which was amazing because that's really what when you, especially when you are online, you really want to be able to have success. And I was like, wow, this really works. So I decided to just keep pursuing my dreams, and I'm a full-time entrepreneur now.
Mm-hmm.
Still here, but I can't hear you. Still here with me?
Can you hear me at all?
You're back.
All right. This should be
All right. Can you hear me?
good. Let's try again. For some reason. Okay, yes, there you are.
Hello?
Beautiful. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
I can
I
hear
didn't
you.
hear anything you said. Sorry.
Oh, I said we're in the live show, people. Okay, so you were saying that you started your business and within the first day.
Yeah. I lost you.
You can go ahead.
No,
I can
I,
hear
I,
you
I
now.
didn't hear your question.
Oh no. Oh no, I said we kind of got cut off when you were saying about your first day. You started your first day.
Okay. Well, so I started my business. I quit my job and I started my business. And within the first day of launching, I made my first 3 high-end sales. And that's when I recognized, like, that was my moment that I recognized that what I want to do is totally possible. And so I pursued it further. Um, and now, not even 2 years in, I've generated more money than I've ever made in my entire life. Left helped so many women pursue their dreams, which is what really that lights me up. Like I love hearing my clients get results. I love when they, get their work done and they in turn build their own businesses and they're able to have that freedom that they desire, that lifestyle that they want. And so I've been able to build that within a short period of time because I started like my journey really by doing some self-development. It's looking for myself and looking to do more personal work. And in turn, I found that I really wanted to have more time for myself, for my family, for my daughter. She's 8 now. So I really I didn't want life to go by while she's growing up. And I'm like trying to figure out what happened. I don't want it to be where she's 18. I'm like, wow, you're already 18. I didn't get time to spend with you. And so I decided, doesn't matter how hard it's going to be, I'm going to make it happen. And I've been blessed to have a $500,000 business within the first year and a half of my business, which is awesome. So I love that I get to do that and empower other women to do the same.
Right. And that's one of the reasons I asked you to be a guest on the summit, because I know that, one, I said you're fabulous and I love you. I love your presence. I love what I've been hearing from you. And because I know that you have a family and you're building the life and the business in a way that nourishes you, right? And I know that you're for empowerment. So I wanted to bring this to an audience of women who are on that same journey. And so, can I have some questions about how you did that and see if you can drop some gems on them real quick, or on us, because I'm in the process as well.
Awesome. I'd love to answer them for you. Thank you for having me.
All right, beautiful. So here's the first question. Oh, yeah, thank you. Here's the first question. This question I ask all the speakers. What does living a rich life mean to you, Fabi?
Living a rich life to me means doing the things that you want to do, pursuing your passions, and playing full out. Like not worrying about what exactly. And I know money is a part of it, but really rich internally is what I look for. And of course, the money will come. But doing the things that really light you up. I noticed that when I started to focus more on the things that made me happy and more on giving more value, I felt more rich on the inside, and in turn helped me perform better and also be able to make more money, believe it or not. When I used to hear people say that in interviews, I'm like, that's just crazy. She's talking crazy. But the reality is, excuse me, when you are giving, when you are doing the things that make you happy and you're giving back, it really brings back full circle what you desire as well. So for me, living a rich life means pursuing what makes you happy, having the freedom to do what you want, not allowing anything or anyone get in your way, and just truly understanding what your purpose is on this earth and following it to the T.
Yes, purpose. I love that. So can you share with us a time before now when you're not experiencing such a rich life and what that was like for you?
Well, I was a single parent at one point, and I'm not going to use that, but there was a point in my life before my daughter where I was not where I wanted to be. I was dabbling in different things, especially with entrepreneurship. I dropped out of college. I'm a college graduate now, but I was a college dropout for many years. And I only got it so I can use that line to my daughter. You better go to school because mommy did. So I know it sounds crazy, but I love education, so I love to learn. But there was a point in my life where I wasn't there, where I was frazzled, where I was lost. And I just want to go back to the previous question. For me, also a rich life is getting closer to God. For me, is connecting with your higher self and connecting with God. So there was a time where I was lost. I dropped out of school. I wasn't doing anything. I moved back home with my parents. And then I got pregnant, and the doctor said, "You're having a baby." And I was like, "Oh, got to get my life together." What that looked like for me, though, I'm not going to say it was terrible, but it wasn't my ideal situation, because I'm a go-getter and I always have plans for where my next phase of my life is going to be. And I didn't like being there. And that's where the journey of finding myself and the personal development came in, and really trying to figure out what was my purpose and what was the point of me being on this planet, period. And when I got pregnant with my daughter, I was like, okay, she's a part of that, but what about me? And I think that's, as a mom, especially as a single mom, a lot of us, we fear that I just got to take care of my kid. Like, I don't have time to pursue my own dreams. But the reality is it is totally possible. And for me back then, it wasn't that great. But I noticed that when I got focused on being closer to God and praying, and meditating, and working on myself, just because another thing I want to say is that I feel like sometimes we jump from, if it's not a relationship we're jumping from, it's a job we're jumping from, and back and forth. We're not really finding out who we are or a situation. So I decided I got a job. I think it was like managing at a Starbucks. Not that Starbucks is terrible. I love Starbucks. But I got a job there, and I was like, I'm going to figure out what I need to do before I move to the next phase. So I was there where most people are, and it's totally possible to get out of that situation, whatever situation you're in, and really go to the next level.
Yeah, I love that. Great. So, yeah. So Eva says she loves that too. So taking time to focus on yourself, right? It's really
Yeah.
important. Really, the first step to connecting with what it is that you're meant to do in the world. But here's a question: what mindset things or what mindsets did you have to shift out of to begin to move into the life that you envisioned for yourself?
Before I answer that question, I just want to say hi to Teresa. Thanks for joining me. So mindset shifts, oh my gosh, crazy mindset shifts. If I have to say one thing out of this entire conversation is your mindset is a big part of your success. I had to listen to, like I said, prayer was number one for me, taking time to meditate. I had to listen to a lot of amazing affirmations. And one of the things that I started doing is believing in the things that I didn't have already. You still with me?
Yes, still here. Go ahead.
Okay. Is believing in the things that I didn't have already. So some of the affirmations, I used to call them like pre-forecast affirmations. Like, God, I thank you so much for the amazing business that I have that helps me empower and change women's lives and also allow me to have financial freedom. Like I literally repeat that 10 times a day on my way home. And also expressing gratitude for what you have now. That's a part of living in that abundance mindset is I hear a lot of when I used to work my 9 to 5, a lot of people say, I hate this job. And I would not do it that way because I feel like you're basically perpetuating the situation and you're going to stay there. So in my mind, I was like, I'm grateful for this job. It allows me to build my, pay my bills, but also take care of my family. And it allows me to build my business. And it did. Like that money that I made, extra overtime that I worked, all that extra money came from allowed me to finance parts of my business, websites and all that awesome stuff. Right. So I would say live in the moment, but also really consider doing affirmations, reading more. Reading was a great part, prayer. I say it's really important for you to focus on what's exactly holding you back. And I know sometimes it's hard for you to recognize it. And if you need to work with someone, you should. But there's a book. Well, here's one thing. If finance is a thing, what I used to do was YouTube. I call it YouTube University. And so one of my favorite books is by Pablo Coelho. Why is the name not coming to me? Oh my gosh, this is bad. It's The Alchemist. So I love that book. I don't know if it's still on YouTube for free, but you can listen to the audiobook. And also there's a few YouTube channels that I used to watch or listen to at work that gave amazing affirmations every day. So really keep yourself, it's like stay prayed up. So you want to stay positive all the time. Like, well, not stay positive, but shift your mindset and infuse yourself with amazing positive things. And yes, you're going to have bad days. Trust me, entrepreneurship is like a roller coaster. 1 minute you're up, 1 minute you're down, but you have to have something to prepare you to continuously remind you of why you're doing what you're doing.
Okay, so there's a delay because I'm here. There's a delay though because I'm in Jamaica, so we're long distance. But I hear you. I got you. Right. So okay. So affirmations really really important. So cultivating, the soil of your mind. Attending YouTube University, and I mean that's a really important place to go. Honestly, yes. That it has tons of amazing stuff. One of the questions that I got was, what kind of books and practices do you use to help you to cultivate that mindset that has you go even when things don't seem like they're going the way that you want them to go?
That's a great question. I used to have this affirmation app. At one point, my phone wiped itself. And basically, you can find it through, I have an iPhone, but you can find it through the App Store where it gives you a reminder every day. One of my favorite, I'm going to call him a preacher / speaker, is Joel Osteen. And what I love about Joel is, even though for me now, I notice that his sermons are kind of the same, but one of the things he always reminds you is to faith without works is dead. So he shared a story about his wife, Victoria, and how she just programmed on her phone messages from God, like different passages to keep her empowered and to remind her of why she's doing what she's doing and her purpose. And I thought that was a great idea. So one of the things that I recommend that I started doing, which I'm actually going to redo again, and it's only because, again, my phone was wiped, but it had daily affirmations coming to me. I also listen to a lot of audiobooks because I love to read, but with coaching and teaching, time is of the essence, and I really want to get the knowledge. So I do have audiobooks. I'm going to pull up some of my list of audiobooks to share with you, because I really love, like I said, The Alchemist is one of my favorite books. Think and Grow Rich for Women is another great book. What you really want to do is find books that are going to allow you to, not only work on your mindset, but also the abundance piece and the finance piece. This is another book that I'm reading. It's on my desk. Let me grab it. From Elizabeth Gilbert, Big Magic. I love it. And I got it at Target. It was 30% off.
Okay. What book is that? Because I can't see. Is that Big Magic?
Big Magic, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it's awesome. Awesome book.
Yeah, and that's on my list of books that I'm reading. And I actually have a list of books for my mastermind that I can actually share with you, and you can share the link with the community. But audiobooks are really, really great, and it allows you to just get things done while you're listening to them.
Right. Awesome. Eva says she's listening to it on her phone. Okay, yay, Eva. All right. Fabi, you built this business, this like powerhouse business, and you're into teaching women entrepreneurs how to build empires. And I love that word, empires. Yeah. So can you share a little bit about how you went about building, experiencing that success or creating that success for yourself? And how can we go about doing that for ourselves?
Okay. I'm going to be honest. So I'm always honest, but the truth is investing in yourself, and it's not about whatever that is for you. One of my mentors, one of the best advice ever gave me was, what you don't know, you learn, or you pay someone to teach you. Don't waste time trying to figure it out. And it's 20 years later and you're still figuring it out. So, what I would say is, for me, the success that I've had came upon investing in courses, in time, and reading. I learned web design by investing in the time. I didn't have the funds to pay someone $5,000 to do it. And now I can, but before I was like, I'm not going to have a janky website. So I sat down and I just decided to learn how to design a website, and I did the research. And yes, that was more time, but investing in any way is important for your business. At a certain point, I had to invest in a web design course because YouTube University wasn't enough. And that was fine with me, but I knew that, hey, I still couldn't afford someone to do it for me, but I'm going to invest in it. Books, knowledge is like crazy great in books. And a lot of us, I'm not saying a lot of people don't read. And that's why there's audiobooks. So you don't even need to read a book. So I would suggest to invest something, put the stake in your business, in the game. So one thing that I learned along this journey was, when I invest financially in my business, it comes back to me like 10 times. So when I hire a coach, I make more money. When I buy a course and I implement everything, I got to say that implementation is key. I also, make money or change the lives of clients, because no matter what you do, people are coming to you for your expertise. So whether you have a shop, they're coming to you for your the things that you can curate in your shop, right? Like the style that you've put together, that vision for your clients that you're going to put together inside of your shop. If they come into you for consulting, they're coming for that. But again, if you don't invest in yourself, whether it's time, money, or energy, then other people want to invest in you. So definitely that's one. And the second thing I want to say to build your empire is implementation. Like, the problem with not implementing is that you're never going to get things done. So lack of action equals lack of results. So I do encourage a lot of people to implement. You can hire a coach. You can pay $1 million, $10. It doesn't matter. If you haven't implemented anything, you're not going to get results. You can buy 1 million courses. And as a matter of fact, when I first started launching, I used to do calls for my courses, which was weird, but because most people don't do that. And when I ask people, like, what have you done in the past? What course have you taken? They're like, well, I've taken this, this, and that. I'm like, have you implemented any of this? Because I know this person and I know this program works. And I know it sounds crazy because you're pushing money away, but the reality for me is, I didn't want anybody in my course going to just buy another course. I want you to actually do the work and get results. So implementation is definitely key. So for me, I think that's a great thing.
All right. So you touch on implementation, which here's the thing that I see that a lot of women entrepreneurs are struggling with, or entrepreneurs in general, I guess. with getting themselves out there and actually doing the work. Have you seen that? And what do you think is going on there? Or how do you think that people can actually get over their fear of being one visible or putting themselves out there, putting offers out, stuff like that, so that they actually can start? Because then what happens is when they don't, the confidence, the lack of confidence continues to grow, and they eventually feel like, oh, I'm failing, even if they're not trying.
There's several things I want to say
Or not
about
trying
that.
hard.
So in terms of that, it's what did my friend Araya once told me, a closed mouth does not get fed. So your fear, while you're being, there's two things. What you're doing by not putting yourself out there and being visible and sharing your products and letting your clients find you, you're doing them a disservice, because there's someone out there for everyone. There are plenty of clients for everyone. There are billions of people on this one planet alone, billions. Okay. And so when you're basically being selfish, so what you're doing is you're depriving someone of the opportunity to work with you, because I teach almost the same thing as other coaches, right? But people are attracted to me for the way I present it and the way I teach it and all of that. And there are people out there waiting for you, and they will never get their greatness if you don't put your greatness out there. So the number one thing about that, so while you're being selfish, being afraid, I feel like, and we all have fear. I'm scared. Like before we started this, I was like, oh, I prayed. I was like, oh God, I'm probably gonna be terrible, right? That's everyone. But the key is to really decide that, just think about it this way: if you're not putting yourself out there, you're depriving someone of their greatness, because once they see you, maybe someone can see this interview and be like, oh my gosh, you're so brave for going out there and interviewing all these amazing leaders. Like, I want to do what you do. Let's talk. Let's work together. You can teach me or coach me how to do that, right? But if you never did it, someone out there would have never seen this, and they may not ever want to take that leap. And the second thing I want to say is, besides that you're robbing other people of your greatness, is that fear is always going to be there no matter what. You have to face it head on. And again, I used to hear interviews and listen to podcasts of people saying this. I'm like, this is so crazy. It's because they've been there, right? They made it. Of course they can say that. But it's true. Like, you will always have fear. It doesn't go away. And what you got to do is work around it. You really want to focus on, what is my why, right? Why am I doing this? Not just for yourself, but your children. For me, I believe in generational wealth. I'm going to be honest, my family, like when my parents died, God bless their soul, they're great people, but they're not leaving me anything, and I'm okay with that. But I refuse to do that to my daughter. I want to leave her a legacy. I want to leave her money. I want to leave her with the knowledge and the pursuit of happiness, the pursuit of things that lights her up, and to do things that's going to bring her joy, but also bring her money, so she can continue to do the same thing for her kids and the kids after that. Like, and that's another thing. It's like, what's your why? Like, what's your main reason? Another reason for me is, and when I started my life coaching business up until now, was, it still is, that I want to empower 1 million women to empower other women. So whether that's through, and for me, I decided that's through the art of entrepreneurship, and that's fine. But I still do amazing things like interviews like this to share this information so that they can in turn take that baton and keep it going. And you're taking that baton and keeping it going. So really think about your why. Think about, the fact that you're depriving the world of your greatness, and think about the fact that you're really good at this. You have to really get over the fear, and the confidence is huge in business, period. Because if you go out there and you're like, you're being wimpy, people are going to walk all over you. They're going to beg for discounts, ask for free services. You got to put your foot down. So one of the things that you can do, especially if you lack the implementation or the confidence, is hire someone. I'm going to be honest. Like, I took courses way before I started hiring coaches, and I decided that I need accountability, or get an accountability partner. Sometimes you don't have to hire someone at the same level playing field with the same ambitions as you. So they don't have to do the same thing. But I started with accountability partners and courses. So I found them within the courses, because I figured, if you've invested in a course like I did, I want to be your accountability partner. I'm not going to pick someone who doesn't do anything and is not going anywhere, right? So you can find accountability partners in the groups and the programs that you're in. A lot of my students do that, and they've had amazing results, not just in the course, but also in partnering with other people. And then, of course, if that doesn't work and you both are not, you're not helping each other get to the next level, pay someone. I'm going to be honest, like, accountability from a coach, because think about it this way: knowing that you're going to meet with someone you're paying thousands of dollars to, and you have to answer to them that you didn't do the homework and get embarrassed. that's going to push you to do the work, right? Did you do this, and that? And you're like, no. For me, with my clients, I cancel their sessions. You don't do your homework, I cancel your session. So for me, it's like, are you wasting money? Yes, you are. So you're going to do the work. So these are the things I want people to consider when they're thinking, oh my gosh, I'm so afraid to do this. Another thing is, who cares if other people laugh? Let me tell you something. The people who are hating online, they're not doing shit. Excuse my language, but they're not. They're not doing anything. And the truth is, you're going to have haters. One of my friends, Tiffany Lanier, she said that once you get your first hater online, that means you've made it. You're doing something right when you have a hater. So don't allow people with their comments and things that are not positive to get in your way. Don't allow the fact that you don't get likes get in your way. Let me tell you guys something. If I allowed likes to get in my way, I would not be here. I wouldn't make any money because I didn't get any likes in the beginning. No one shared my stuff. No one cared. They did join my list. They did join my webinars, but my Facebook was dead. My Instagram was basically dead. So you have to be okay with these things not happening and just focusing on the end goal.
Right. Awesome. Okay, cool. Yeah, Eva said, yes, haters will always try to dull your shine. And Al Woodley had said that, do women really know that it's just like college? You get assignment and you have to do the work, right? It's
exactly
true. And sometimes, you know, when you get, okay, let's assume that you've been putting yourself out there and you're not getting bites or you're getting crickets or whatever. That can like give a little bit of a hit on your self-esteem or a little bit of rub, right? How do you
wait? That question went away. How do I what?
Put that.
Can you answer that question? How do I what?
Did I lose you then?
I'm back.
I think. Fabi?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Did you hear my question?
No, I didn't hear the question.
Okay. All right. Well, I was saying that sometimes when you put stuff out there and nobody bites, and you know, you get a little bit of a hit on your self-esteem, and you know, you start to like doubt yourself. And I know self-doubt and lack of confidence and, you know, fear of being seen are like three of the big things that a lot of women entrepreneurs struggle with. But in terms of the self-doubt part, how do you like move past that and sort of just go for it?
Well, for me, I think that it really starts with you understanding why you're doing this. Like if you don't have a purpose behind what you do, it becomes harder to justify. It's harder for you to keep moving forward because you're constantly saying, I'm not good enough, and you're going to always doubt yourself. So one exercise that I've done and I've had my clients do is write down exactly the purpose behind their work. So like if they're about to launch a program and they're fearful of it. So like if they tell me they're fearful, we don't do it unless you're like, I don't know what I'm doing, I'm terrified. So I'm not going to waste your time like that. But I would say, ask yourself, what's the purpose of this? How will this change someone's life? Because not seeing the monetary, yes, we want to have success, we want to make money, but you putting this program out there, you teaching or you coaching or you doing whatever you're doing is going to make a difference in someone's life. One of the things that my sister is my number one fan. Well, after my husband. But my husband doesn't have social media. So social media wise, my sister is my number one fan. And she would go in there. I would talk to her and I'm like, no one's liking my stuff. She's like, it's okay, boo. She'll spend a Saturday and like everything on Instagram and Facebook. And yes, that used to help me with my confidence. And so the number one thing I would say is surround yourself with people who support you. And it's not about the likes, to be honest. When I used to scope regularly, I had someone say that, they heard a study that one like on Facebook equals $1. And I'm like, wow, then I must be broke because I don't have a lot of people on Facebook. But the reality is my bank account doesn't say that, right? Because if that's the case, my bank account it's not, correlating. And I'm like, I'm making thousands of dollars. I don't have the likes. So don't allow all these gurus and all these things telling you that this should be the way. In business and in life, you want to formulate your own process. And yes, I've learned from a lot of different people, right? But I want to create it and make it my own and make it work for my business. So I always encourage people to really do that. So don't worry about the likes and all the things that are out there. When you have a hit in your confidence, is really understanding like, why am I doing this? Like the why is so important. But also you can do letters to yourself, write to yourself. Journal is another great way. today I had this fear that I'm not going to be able to get X amount of followers on Snapchat, but what's the reason why I'm having this fear? It doesn't really matter if I have that many people on Snapchat. What's my end goal, right? My end goal is to help people. My end goal is to also make money. My end goal is to finally go on that vacation. So reward yourself, another thing, right? What are you looking forward to? Stop worrying about the fact that you didn't get, people didn't respond to your post on Facebook. And another thing is, I just want to say that before I go to my next point of rewarding yourself is, I used to get people who stopped me at the grocery store because they saw my post on Facebook or Instagram. I'm like, so you never liked my post, but you read it? Like, yeah, this post really helped me today. Like my sister-in-law would say that. I'm like, I've never seen a like or a share from them. But the truth is people are watching. So don't allow that kind of internal junk to get in your way, because people are definitely watching and they do care. Sometimes they think they're liking in their head. Like most people, like my sister used to say, I liked in my head. So I always have to go back and like again. But also reward yourself. So what's the end goal for you? Like once you hit the certain goal, once you get to where you want to go, what can you do? What will you do to reward yourself? I think when we work hard, we work without and I know the end goal most people want is money, right? But when we work hard, we have nothing to look forward to. It becomes harder to see the light at the end of the tunnel. So really focusing on those things would really help. But you got to get out of your own head. You got to get out the house too. So if you're not a full-time entrepreneur, working from home all the time is definitely gonna not help. So find a co-working space where you can pay a few bucks for a few hours, or work at Starbucks. That was another thing that helped me with my confidence and not caring, because I'll be at Starbucks working or scoping or doing things like that. And people would stop me and ask me questions, ask for my business card, and I'll get clients that way. Another thing that I used to do was I did have a meetup group locally here. So really get a supportive group of people. And again, any courses and things that you paid for, there's got to be someone in that group that you can partner with for accountability, and you can surround yourself with amazing people to help get your mindset to the next level, to not feel that way.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. All right, awesome. I have a question about positioning. Positioning. Yeah. All right. So a lot of people talk about finding your own way in the business world. But there are a lot of life coaches and a lot of business coaches, and it seems that only business coaches make money. How can you position yourself as a coach to be different and to make money?
That's a great question. I have a lot of life coaching clients that make money, so I don't believe that's that. I think that the truth of the matter is you really need to know your audience. So position yourself in a way that makes them feel like you're the go-to person for them. You don't need to be a business coach. I have a life coaching client who thrives. She actually, after a year of working together, we didn't work for the entire year, but she just recently quit her job. So she's making income that not just supports her, like she's going out of her house more than I do. I follow her on Snapchat. I'm like, boo you everywhere. So excuse me. One of the things is to really be clear about who your audience really is and speak in a way that's going to be true for them. So what are their struggles? What are the things that they're really looking for from you? And what makes you the expert for them? Be relatable, right? In the way that you position yourself. So I stopped life coaching because it wasn't for me, not because business coaches were making money. It literally was not for me. I just could not take, and the people I was attracting, because I wasn't clear, were not my ideal clients. And it just wasn't for me because I have a business and marketing background. And I'm like, that's one thing. Before you start a business, especially with life coaching, consider, are you being a life coach because you got a life coach and you went to life coaching school and thought it was great? Or are you really doing that because you're using your real talents? And if that's your true talents, then you really need to figure out, who do I want to serve? Because your audience is out there. So the life coaches that I work with, most of them help women, not with just empowerment. Another thing is, stop being so vague. What does empowerment mean, right? Be very specific on what these people are looking for from you. Empowerment is not the only thing, right? It's not something most people are looking to bottle up, but what they are looking for is clarity around their lifestyle, or clarity around the things that they want to do. One of my life coaches clients that I have now helps women with prayer and getting closer to God, and really working on their spiritual selves as well as their goals, right? She's very clear. Like, I help you take your goals, actually implement them and get results. I also help you get closer to God. And she does a bunch of other things, but these things are very pinpoint and focused. So when you're like, I'm an empowerment coach, it throws me off. I don't know what that means. So be very clear. What do you help me do? My other life coach client, the one that quit her job, she helps women. I don't know if anybody's heard of her, but clutter free, right? Really living a clutter free lifestyle, not just physically, but mentally, emotionally. So she's really pinpoint and focused on how can I help my clients live a clutter free life. Another thing that I want to pinpoint is that my biggest issue with any coach, not just business coaches or not just life coaches, is you got to have products. It just drives me bananas. Like just only one-on-one coaching is not going to get you to where you want to go. You need to have products. And if the lack of creation in any business is you're preparing yourself to fail. Like think about it this way, a boutique, they have a physical product they sell. So constantly they have those particular products that are popular. They also are bringing new stuff, right? Same thing as a creator or a info or a service-based provider. You need to have products to sell to people because not everyone, one of the things that I learned when I was a life coach was that not everyone wants to have a one-on-one coach. Not everyone wants to have a long-term situation, especially for their life. And some people really just like the fact that they can go in and learn more about how can I make changes in my life gradually, right? Because when we struggle with things in life, sometimes we don't like to look at our own junk, right? So when we don't like to look at our own junk, we got to give people an entry point so they can start chipping away at these problems and eventually get to you. So another one of my life coaching clients, she does strictly life coaching and she works around all the areas of your life. So she talks about goal setting. She doesn't talk about finances, but she does teach, she has a master class on it, but she does goal setting. She also does, what else? She does how to get rid of negative thoughts and negative people, all these awesome things. And she has products. That's one of the things that whenever I work with people, I'm like, you got to stop this. You have other revenues, basically. And that's the problem. So position yourself being very straightforward and how do you actually help people? And two, you need to have a way for people to work with you and have products and stop. My second lesson that I learned in business is stop, to not allow, not to not allow, but to stop making it hard for people to pay you, basically. Stop making it hard for people to work with you. Because if you notice, a lot of life coaches are like, well, I'm not making money because no one's buying my one-on-one service. But you're amazing. You can do workshops. You can do master classes. Like people want to learn and they may not be ready for that. And what's beautiful about having products, I know I'm going on to a tangent, but what's beautiful about leading people into that, my other life coaching client who does the different products, she leads, actually all of them have products, but they lead people into working with them. And it's not like they're pushing people. It's just like, hey, they bought this workbook and they got results from that and they attended a masterclass. They really loved it. And now they feel like they're ready for the next level. And so they book one-on-one sessions, right? Versus me, I don't even know you. And you're like, hey, you want to join me for a one-on-one session? I may not be ready to look at my junk yet. And I want to chip away at my junk one step at a time. So I really want to encourage people to stop. Don't give up. Life coaching is needed. I had a life coach. I still hire them when I need one. So I want to encourage you to keep going, but you really have to have products and really have to have other ways of people giving people a chance to work with you.
Okay. Here's something else that this is a question from a friend of mine when I told her I was going to interview you. And she said that pivoting is really, if people talk about pivoting, where she started out.
Oh no, are you still here?
You can still maintain your credibility and
I missed all of that. Can you?
Okay, I'm sorry. Can you
hear
me?
All I heard was she started out and then it stopped.
Right, yeah. Sorry. So I have a friend who wants to pivot. Right now, she's not sure what to do. She wants to pivot from being a business coach. She used to coach people. Now she wants to go into life coaching, but she's concerned about maintaining her credibility.
Okay. So she wants to go from business coaching to life coaching?
Yes.
Well, I don't know where she's at in terms of her business. Like, does she have thousands of followers or thousands of people on her list? Because you can still make a shift, but okay. So what I want to say is you can still make a shift. So number one, she's going to have to be okay with people leaving the tribe, right? Because if I was following you for business coaching and you were amazing at it, I loved everything you had to say and I joined your list, I'm everywhere for you. if you're not doing that, I may not be a part of that brand anymore. So that's okay. So be okay with losing people along the way. If she's okay with that, then what I would say is to really find out what area of, like, what kind of life coaching does she want to do? If it's general, if it's, relationships, whatever it is, pinpoint what that is and ease her audience into it. So yes, you're going to lose people along the way, but there are people who are like, yeah, I like this. I'm digging this. Right. Don't push people out by, saying, hey, I'm a life coach now. That's one of the number one mistakes people make when they're transitioning or shifting in their brands, or even when they launch their brand. If they had a following somewhere and people were gung-ho about this one thing and they just rip it away. There was a brand, I forgot the name of the brand, who basically changed the look, and people were like, I can't believe this. Why would you do this? One example I would give her is Bright House in Tampa. We have this cable company called Bright House, and I really love the way they shift their branding. So they were shifting their branding from look and everything, and what they started doing was putting billboards and commercials all over town saying, hello, friend, would you like to be friends? And it was like hellofriend.com, and you can join the list and let's be friends. But no one knew who was asking to be friends, right? But people kept going. It was like, I totally want to be friends with whatever this yellow smile on a blue background is. They were super excited about it. Even I was hyped. And to keep it long story short, but once they released it, people were like, oh my gosh. And once you joined the website, you joined the list, it had fun things. And it was like fun things around Tampa Bay to do. Like, here's what a friend would do. And they would send you emails. It was super cute, but it still didn't tell you who it was. But I like that they ease people into it, even though they made a fun journey out of it. I would encourage her to ease people into it. So don't just rip it out from under them. And it could be a heartfelt letter to her email and saying, hey guys, I've been doing business coaching for X amount of years. I love it. My clients have got success, but I realize there's more to life than what I'm doing right now. And I really want to transition and doing something more. But also plan, right? Don't shift just to shift because you really want to do it, but plan ahead. So what are you going to offer? What products do you have? What kind of business model are you going to have, right? That's also important. I think I should have said that in the last question. But what is your business model? What is your revenue model that you want? Not just your business model. What's your revenue model? So, for example, are you going to do a membership site? Like Gabby Bernstein has an awesome membership site. I think it's free. But it's a great place where people can connect. She's also a life coach. She does live lectures. She writes books. So before she started getting speaking gigs, and I know she was getting speaking gigs when I met her, but she used to do her YouTube channel. She still does. And she used to do her own lecture workshops locally. Even Marie Forleo would tell you her first workshop, like only her family showed up. There was like barely anybody, but you gotta, build up to it. So I wouldn't just rip it out. Maybe you can say I'm lessening the number of clients that I'm taking, or, and just start introducing people to new things. One of the best ways to do that is to do a test product, like host kind of like a master class before you put together a whole course and see how people in your current audience, accept it. And if that's something that people are looking for, then go for it. But I would definitely ease people into it and not just rip it under and be like, hey, here are my shingles for life coaching, but really taking the time to let people get acclimated to the changes.
Okay, awesome. Fabi, we're coming to the end of our hour together, and I want to honor your time. But so I'm going to ask you for this last maybe few minutes, if you can preach and share with us what your message is to women entrepreneurs who really want to create a life and a business that feels good to them, that honors and nourishes who they are, and begins to have the impact that they want to have in the world. What do they need to do now? So what's the message to them, and what do they need to do right now when they get off this call?
I love that you said that. And I'm actually going to send you I have this workbook that I have for life and business to help people map out their desires. I'll just send it to you. You can send it to your audience. But and you actually said everything I wanted to say. Really just think about when you think about your life, here's how I came to this realization. I think I should have shared this in the beginning. Was really my journey started with me, testing different things out. But I remember for where I'm at today, I woke up telling my husband I don't want to be ordinary anymore. I just started crying, out of my sleep, just jumped out. I no longer want to be ordinary. And what I found was that pushed me, that propelled me. So where do you see your life in the next 5 years? Do you really see yourself working for someone else? Do you really see yourself building someone else's empire? another thing that pushed me to this was that one time my daughter was sick, and I couldn't get time off to take my kid to the doctor. I just left and got a write up, and I'm like, this is not the life. Like, if I'm working hard for you, and I work hard no matter what I do, and you're not giving me the time and space to take care of my kid, that wasn't the ideal place for me. So what is your ideal life? Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? And if you can't see 5 years ahead, what do you see yourself in the next year or two? Do you really see yourself doing the same things consistently and not really getting where you want to be? So if you're full-time right now and you're struggling, what can you do to shift that, right? It starts with your mindset, but it all starts with you taking action. One of the things that I notice that people say, this is not working. You're not consistently doing it. Blogging is not working because you're not consistently doing it. Yes, some people may not go and comment, but people do read your blogs. They just don't comment. And that's okay. Keep going. Right. Someone's going to notice that. So consistency is key in anything that you do. So if you're not consistently doing something, consistently marketing your business, that's another problem that I noticed in the entrepreneurship world. Like, we get a marketing plan, we're excited about it, we do it once, we hear nothing, and we're like, I'm done. That's not how it works. That's not how it works. Always be marketing. Another thing that I want to recommend besides consistency is really, what is your vision? Like I said, what is a vision for where you want to go? And if you don't have kids, think about when you do have kids. How awesome would it be to not have to worry about maternity leave and to still make money while you are enjoying life? Like, that is the perfect scenario, right? It doesn't have to be, and I know I'm a mom, but you don't have to have kids to plan ahead. And that's really important. And if you do have kids, how amazing would it be? Like, this summer, I was like, I don't want to take any one-on-one clients. I mean, I have a mastermind, but I'm like, I'm gonna chill, right? You can sell products. You can still make money and chill with your children, go on vacations. And if that's not your bag, that's cool. But you really want to take action. So what I want to tell you today, if you take anything from this, is to take action. I'd not be here today if I didn't take action. My last thing is, if you feel like, oh, she's just talking because she's done it. I used to cry when I did my YouTube videos. I did not like videos. Like, I would burst into tears. My first few YouTube videos, which weren't great at all, I need to take those down. I used to cry like crazy. And then I realized, if I want to be extraordinary, if I want to do great things, I need to start taking actions like people who are doing great things. So another thing that I want to recommend is surround yourself with amazing people, because you definitely want to be with people who are going somewhere. I got to tell you, I had to cut a lot of people out of my life, and it sounds terrible, but the reality is I had to lessen my time with people who weren't doing the things that weren't heading to the directions that I wanted to, and increase my time with people who were, because those people inspire you. They light you up. They keep you in line. They keep you in formation. Like I like to say, it's to really get to where you want to go. And lastly, just really be happy. Do things that make you happy. I'm gonna be honest. I've done things in my business that brought me money, but made me feel horrible, because like, I'm so drained. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. But it's okay. Like, we all make mistakes, and it's okay to learn from them. Be okay. Do things that make you happy, but be okay with testing things too. I'm huge on testing things. I love testing things. They're fun. Like, I test pricing, I test products. So it's okay to do that and find your groove, especially in the beginning. Don't worry about people saying, oh, she's everywhere. But if you're in the market, like, you want to teach marketing, great, but find your groove of what works for you. And don't give up. Like, don't give up, because there's been many times where I'm like, I'm ready to give up, but I'm like, oh, there's a great idea that popped into my head. I implement it, and bam, magic happens. So I want to encourage you to don't give up and stay prayed up. Like, I'm a woman of faith, and I'm not going to be here preaching about all that, but I want to just let you know, whatever keeps you in line, stay prayed up and stay focused on your goal. Don't worry about what other people have to say.
Okay. Fantastic note to end on. Thank you, Fabi. Fabi, for those of us that don't know you, or I shouldn't say that, we know you now, we love you, who don't know where to find you, what's a good place to connect with you?
A good place to connect with me is my website, fabiolagiordani.com. And now I'm obsessed with Snapchat. So you can find me on Snapchat at Fabiola Giordani. So my list is another great place. So once you go to my site, you can just join my list and we can stay connected.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you for having me. This was fun. I appreciate it.
Okay. Thank you, Fabi. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day. Thanks, ladies.
You rock, obviously. And, we love you and we appreciate your time and everything. So we'll definitely be in touch. And thank you, everybody, for being here, for supporting Fabi. Go check her out.
Thank you so much for having me. Have a great day. I appreciate it.
Thank you. You too. Bye bye.
Bye.